In this video, I'm going to be going over Noah's window again. I've talked about Noah's window in so many of my previous videos, but some people get confused about what I'm talking about. So this whole video is just going to be about Noah's window, okay? Because I mentioned this window in other videos, but the whole video wasn't really about this window in particular. Okay, I'm going to talk about Noah's window. I'm going to go over the Bible passages and the deeper meaning behind Noah's window, and I'm going to add science into it and the evil stuff behind Noah's window because it got turned into evil, and the good things behind it. Okay, we're going to balance that out because there's warnings in this and there's blessings in this. All right, first of all, it's very important for you to actually read what the Bible says, and I prefer people to use the King James version, okay, because it's, in my opinion, it's more accurate and it's going to be hugely more beneficial for you. Okay, I have no idea if other translations say this or not because I just read the King James Bible usually. Okay, so in the King James Bible, I know people put a whole bunch of windows on Noah's Ark, but that's not what the King James Version says. And I'll read the Bible passages to you. On that boat, there was one window on the whole boat, okay, and it wasn't a very big window either. It was a cubit, okay. All right, and we're gonna go over the Bible passages so you know what I'm talking about, so you know I'm not making things up. A window shall you make to the ark, and in a cubit shall you finish it above, and the doorway of the ark shall you set it the side thereof. So there was one window on the roof, okay, somewhere on the roof. Some people do put it on the side though, and I'll show you what you mean because it's kind of confusing. It sounds like you want the window to be put on top of the door, or by the door, or on top of the roof, or on the side of it. Okay, it's because over time people did all of it, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So inside Noah's Ark, there was a window. Let's read the next Bible passage where it mentions this window, okay? And it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. Now this is very, very crazy and very important because you can see this information all over the world today, okay? And it even got put into science and technology, okay? Listen to me. So this is the problem. And then, okay, so the first time it mentioned this window in Hebrew, it's just a regular word for a regular window, okay? But when it mentions this window again, okay, in Hebrew, the word that they use, it translates into like a stone or a glowing stone or a star, okay? And you might wonder if you're supposed to use this as a regular window or if you're supposed to use this as a glowing stone or star or a magic crystal, okay? And I know that sounds really nasty because that's exactly what happened, okay? You're going to need both. You're going to have to use this window for a regular window and use it as a stone or star because that's exactly what you will see in the ancient world, okay? This window can be used as a window or a star or stone, okay, and it's really, really important, okay, and I will show you this, and because over time it just became both, okay, and you're going to need all of it, okay, so this glowing stone, most Christians don't read that much into the Bible, but this star or stone became a huge thing in many religions, okay, and I will show it to you right now. You have to remember that Noah's Ark, okay, was like a big floating temple, okay? In the Bible, God literally calls Noah's Ark my house. It was his temple, okay? So you also have to also have to remember the ark just means a box or a temple, okay? Ark means a box, and you can see this in like every religion, okay? All right, so, and technically you can put this back into Garden of Eden, but we're gonna just do the Noah's Ark version first, okay? Something that is extremely interesting though, okay, this stuff as soon as God does anything to bring you to Jesus, it's just gonna be, when people aren't guided by the Holy Spirit, they're gonna just turn it into witchcraft, into a false religion, okay, which is exactly what happened, okay, so right after the Noah Ark incident, what happened, okay, people, they landed on land, and they spread out throughout the world, and maybe some time passed, and then Nimrod built, pretty soon after Noah's Ark, Nimrod built the Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel had that magic window on top too, but it's an evil version, okay? It was a temple version of Noah's Ark, okay? And They may have even stolen that window and put it on the top of the Tower of Babel and turned it evil, because that's exactly what could have happened. Anyway, the Tower of Babel is like Noah's Ark with that window, okay? It's the exact same story, alright? All this proves is that this Noah's Ark really happened. But anyway, this window, or this magic window, or this magic opening, or this magic crystal is in other ancient texts, okay? It's in the Baal cycle, I think, and it's in the Enuma Elish or the Gilgamesh. I forget which one. These are like ancient stories, okay? They're really, really old. Some people even think the Gilgamesh was written before the Bible, but that doesn't mean the Bible version didn't happen first. Okay, anyway, in the Gilgamesh, there's something that's very interesting, or it's the Enuma Elish, okay? This window is actually depicted as a seed. They have a Noah's Ark story, but this thing that they're carrying isn't a star or stone, it's a magic seed. So which is, you can still use that though. But in the Baal cycle, it's really in there, okay? The Baal cycle, just like in the Bible, God tells Noah to build this window, right? In the Baal cycle, this is very important. Baal tells one of his servants to make him a window that goes on top of his temple. And now this isn't just a regular window, it's like a magic window that allows him to communicate with the other lands, we're going to use the word dimensions, okay, to communicate with other people, okay? It's like a magic stone or it's a magic window. This window is in other ancient texts, and you're going to need it because this for a warning and cautions, okay? But you can use it for good too, all right? Because you can still use this information to bring yourself to Jesus, or if it brought you to anywhere else, it's a very bad situation. Okay, so we're going to go all the way back to the beginning because I have a lot to say about this thing, and there's a lot of information on it. Okay, Noah's window can go into some crazy places, which is what I'm gonna do. Okay, so this magic opening or this magic doorway or window can actually be linked all the way back to the Garden of Eden. Okay, so in the Garden of Eden, God made a magic opening to kick Satan out. And to kick Adam and Eve out of the Garden of Eden. He made an opening, okay? And there is an angel protecting this opening, okay? There's an angel guarding this opening. And it's so crazy, and I have to bring this up. And this angel is also guarding the tree of life, okay? It's guarding a tree, and it's guarding this opening. You can't get into the Garden of Eden unless you go through this angel or to get to the tree of life. And it's very interesting because in the Hercules myth, okay, Hercules actually fights this angel, okay, but of course, this angel, by the Greek perspective, is a big evil monster, okay, because Hercules theoretically tried to break into the Garden of Eden, okay, but even if he broke in, he still wasn't allowed to eat the apple. So it's just very interesting because if you read the Bible, God put an angel to protect this opening and to protect the tree of life. And Hercules actually fights that angel in his Greek myth, which I think is weird. Anyway, so this magic opening into the garden, into God's house, is talking about this magic opening, okay? All right? Of course, I'm going to say this angel could be the angel of the Lord, which is just Jesus, okay? Because that's why Jesus says you have to, if you want to get to heaven, you have to come through me, okay? And God really uses that. You can use this open doorway as an actual living person. Because in real life, okay, the shepherds were the actual doorway to the kingdom. Okay, so that's why Jesus says, I am the door. Okay, Jesus is this magic crystal or this magic star or this person that guides you through. Okay, Jesus is the answer. But of course, most people didn't take that direction. They took it to some like creepy directions. Okay, so anyway, so Baal. I'm gonna go to the Enuma Elish. Okay, so Enuma Elish, they use this magic stone as a seed. It doesn't matter because God will still use that. Okay, so this Noah's Ark had a magic seed on it. That's talking about genetics. When I mean a magic seed, I mean like a family, okay, a blood type maybe, And that blood type isn't just talking about Jewish people, okay? It's talking about people who accept the body and blood of Christ. They get to take the star seed voyage, okay, to heaven. You can use every single perspective. God will still use it. You can think it's a magic seed if you want, okay? But it'll still be in the Bible, okay? And it's so interesting because this magic voyage is called a Merkaba, which is what this thing is. Okay, this thing is called an ophanum, which is an opening, but it's also, some people also call it a Merkaba. It means it travels through time. Okay, it travels, and that's why Jesus says that he is that thing. You're not supposed to rely on actual angels, even though they're probably real too. Okay, you're not supposed to rely on an actual doorway. You have to rely on him. That's the answer. Okay, but that's not what happened. Okay, with most of the world. Okay, so in the ball, so the New Alish, they use this as a seed, which could just be talking about the like the bloodlines. Okay, congratulations, you get to go on Noah's Ark if you accept the body and blood of Christ. You don't. It's not about you looking for some weird seed. Okay, the magic seeds are seed that gets to travel through to heaven. We'll just use every version. Are the people who accept the body and blood of Christ. They're the magic seed who gets to go to heaven, okay? We'll use every single version, okay? And the ball cycle. In the ball cycle, okay, you can actually see what they did. This is Baal's ark. You can see it still. It's an ark because it's a box. Inside this ark, there is a magic window on top. It's made of stone, but it looks like a window, right? All right, because that this is all relating back to Noah's Ark, but it got turned into evil. Okay, we'll use the Hittite Empire. The Hittite Empire has the same exact thing. They have an ark, okay, because ark just means box. This is probably where their inner sanctum was. Inside that inner sanctum was a magic stone. It's a big green stone, and it's so funny. So people. The history on the Hittites is very murky, and the religion is very murky. They think that this stone was used for sacrificing animals, okay? And it's so funny because that's in the Bible, okay? This magic stone that was inside the church was the Ark of the Covenant, okay? And it was used to put animal sacrifice blood on it. It doesn't matter. God will still use it to try to save you. Okay, and not to mention, they probably all copied them anyway. Okay, so now let's use the Egyptian version, the very popular Egyptian version. We'll use the capstones. On top of these temples, this is Noah's Ark stuff. On the very top of on the roof of on the roof of Noah's Ark was a magic stone. On the pyramids, there were supposed to be capstones on the top of the pyramids. They were like magic stones that are on the very top of the pyramids. Okay, and there's lots of myths about it, but they're not there anymore because someone stole them all, or something stole them all. Okay, they're not there anymore. But on top of the pyramids was a magic stone, and that magic stone was supposed to lead you to heaven, which is exactly what Jesus is supposed to be doing. It's not doing something else. Okay. Theoretically, you'd get buried inside the pharaoh would get buried inside the tomb, and then when his soul died, it went into the stars. That's one of the many myths about these capstones, anyway. All right, so please notice that there's this magic stone is like literally all over the place, or a magic window, and we'll use the Kabba stone now. Okay, in Islam, this is a Kabba stone. It's first of all, this is an ark, because ark just means box or temple. This is a temple, right? It's a star seed temple. That means only if you read Islam, the only people allowed in there are the people who are related to the high priests. Congratulations! If you accept the body and blood of Jesus Christ, you get to go on inside the temple. Okay, it's not about you being related to anyone. But this is obviously false religion stuff. And do they have a magic stone on their temple? Yes, it's right there on the side. See how follow the parallelism. The only thing that this proves is that Noah's Ark really happened. That's why every single person has it to this day. And God uses the old information layered with the current information to try to save you. You have to think multidimensionally. And it's very interesting because this Kabba stone, this cornerstone, is on the corner, and Jesus says he's the cornerstone. So what does this cornerstone represent? In Islam, this cornerstone is the link between heaven and earth, which is still what they did on Noah's Ark. Okay, it's still what they did with the pyramids. That stone on top sent you to heaven, basically. Okay, the link between heaven and earth isn't some weird rock. It's Jesus. That's God uses the parallelism. He uses their information to try to save them. You get what I mean? And obviously, to this day, they even use the window version. They put these big windows in the front of the church. Okay, they put this big giant glass window. That all comes back from Noah's Ark. You can link that all the way back to Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark had the same window. Okay? See what I mean when you're going to need both? You're going to need the perspective of it being a regular window and being some sort of magic stone or seed. It doesn't matter because God will just use all of it, because all of it got used today anyway. Alright, and we'll use the Minoan version. The Minoans were the Greeks before they were called the Greeks. Okay, it's really old. This is a really old ruin. There's an ark on top of the temple, just as usual, because ark just means box, technically. It's a temple. Okay, and there's a window inside. It literally looks like a window, though, and there's a painting inside. Okay, see what I mean? Alright, we'll use one more current religion. We'll use Mormons. The Mormons, God will still use it. He'll use their version. I'll use this picture one in a minute. In the Minoan religion, there is a window inside, but it's actually just painted on the wall. Okay? And there's a picture inside. I'm going to use that. I'm totally going to use that in a minute. So hold on. Because I'm going to add current information to this, and I'm going to add science and technology into this. And I'm going to add supernatural stuff towards the end. Okay? Because you can just use this logically, and you can use the supernatural version too. All of it is real anyway. Okay, there's logical and supernatural explanations to Noah's window, and you're supposed to use both. Okay, so one more religion. We'll do Mormon. So the Mormon religion, they like Jared. I think it's Jared's window, though. They have a Noah's Ark story, but it's a guy named Jared. I don't know. Okay, but they have that magic window, that magic stone in front of the temple on the ark. But they say that just represented the Bible. Okay, it was a guiding light to lead you to heaven. Oh, you can still use that because God's already thought of that, okay? As I said before, the magic stone inside the temple was the Ark of the Covenant, and the Bible was in the Ark of the Covenant, okay? You can use the Bible to guide you to heaven. You can use all of this stuff. But it's got to lead you to Jesus, though, too, because there's lots of people who believe in parts of the Bible, but they don't believe in Jesus, and so it's going to be useless, alright? Oh, I wanted to use one more. I forgot about the Mayans. Sorry. The Mayans have a box on top of the temple. The ark on top of the temple. Okay, yeah, and inside the temple, they have a magic stone on top of the temple, inside the temple, but the sun represented the temple. God will just use all this information. The star or the sun on top of the temple that saves you is supposed to be Jesus, not the literal sun or some other magic stone. Okay? God uses all this information to try to save you. He will direct the information right to Jesus. Okay? They probably stole all from God anyway. Okay? Okay, so we laid a solid foundation about this window, and it's used everywhere, and it was used in the ancient past. It's part of ancient history. First of all, God doesn't talk about things that people don't understand back then. They understood what Noah's Ark was. They understood what having a magic stone inside your temple was. God doesn't talk about things that people don't understand. And I know people are, this has to do with a long time ago. It has nothing to do with me. You are very wrong. Okay, we're going to get really deep into this. We're going to add some supernatural stuff and science and technology into this. Okay, and then we're going to add personal information into this, how you can use this for yourself. So, this is the D-Wave computer. It's a quantum computer, but it's also an ark, because ark just means box, right? It's an inner sanctum. Inside, there is a magic window. Is there a magic window in stone? Yes. Inside this ark is a magic window and a magic stone. It's a computer chip. Okay? What are they doing with this thing? Just like the ball cycle said, just like they said, it's a window for you to communicate with the other side. They are using quantum computers to try to go into the other dimensions, the quantum realm. Okay? This arc is traveling through the quantum realm. You can't literally see it moving. Okay, but this computer chip is going into the other dimensions. It's traveling. It's exactly what I said in this video. It's like a machine angel. I know that sounds really crazy because angels travel through the dimensions, but It's a stone that travels through time and space. You can't see it, but it is doing it. Okay, it's doing it in the quantum level. It's traveling. And I know this sounds crazy. You can even call these quantum computers angels of the abyss. I talked about that in that video. You can call them angels of the abyss because everyone assumes that it's just talking about some demon or something. It's talking about computers too. It's most likely that these computers are only communicating with the hell dimensions. Okay, that's probably what they're doing. They're not communicating with God. Okay, and something that is so creepy is that this guy who made the D-Wave computer, he started it. Okay, he doesn't deny that there are demons on the other side. He doesn't deny it at all. That should be a great revelation for you. The D-Wave computer people, they obviously had an encounter with some demons or some evil spirits when they're cracking open this machine. Okay, because they admit to it. They kind of joke around about it, but they admit that there are beings on the other side in the other realms. They admit it. There are all obviously evil arcs. There's evil temples, evil inner sanctums. Anyway. So, in this video, I talked about Noah's Ark a bit, and I talked about how these inner sanctums, these boxes represent the inner sanctum, right? These little miniature temples. There's a Greek version, there is the Islam version, there's the Baal version, and then there's the Jesus version, okay? There's the God version, okay? And if you don't pick Jesus, you're gonna go right to hell, man, I'm serious. If you pick anything else, if you pick the Kabba stone, you're going to go right to hell. And that's exactly what's going to be happening when I'm showing you this. But God uses Noah's Ark to explain a multitude of things. Okay, so in this video, I talked about how Noah's Ark could have been traveling through time and the dimensions. And that doesn't matter if it actually happened with Noah's Ark, because it's going to happen to you when you die, okay? When you die, you're going to travel through the dimensions, okay? You're going to either go to heaven or hell, though. It's really not that hard. But we're going to get into it, though. Okay. We're going to get into this, so we're going to use science and technology to help you explain Noah's Ark and Jesus a little bit more. Okay, so when Noah's Ark landed, there was a rainbow, okay? And this rainbow, as I said in that video, this rainbow represents the dimensions, okay? Traveling through the dimensions. I really explained in that video, so I'm not going to go over it again. God can use things that you can see and understand to help you explain supernatural stuff. So Noah's Ark was a vessel that traveled through a rainbow or made a rainbow. You can actually see this effect. And I talked about how, this is breaking dimensional barriers, right? When you travel to heaven or hell. Okay. But God will use things that you can understand to explain supernatural things. Okay. We're going to talk about how when jets break the sound barrier. When jets break the sound barrier, they're actually penetrating a dimensional barrier. We're just kind of used to it. What happens when jets break up a sound barrier? The front of the plane has to go first. And God really uses stuff you can understand. Okay, even like with missiles and stuff. And like when ships penetrate our atmosphere. Okay, the tip will glow red. It will burn. Okay, it has to penetrate first. That's why Jesus came first. That's why the angel of the Lord went before the Israelites. Okay, he's making the way for you to come through. Jesus did that. That's why Noah has a glowing tip at the window, and that represents Jesus. Because in real life, the front of the aircraft has to go first and penetrate it first, right? Here, we'll read the Bible passages. Okay, I will go ahead of you, clearing and paving the road. Okay, I'll break down bronze gates, city gates, smash padlocks, kick down barred entrances. It's talking about going through dimensional barriers. Okay, it's breaking boundaries so you can come through. Okay, and we'll use the angel of the Lord, which could be a regular angel or it's probably talking about Jesus. Okay, behold, I am sending an angel before you to protect you along the way and to bring you to the place I have prepared. That's why Noah's Ark has a glowing stone, or that represents an angel of the Lord, or represents God's people before the boat. Okay, that's why God says you are living stones. You are supposed to prepare the way for the people behind you to get through. Jesus did it first, and then you do it. He uses literal things. God uses literal things to explain symbolism, okay? So when it says there was a glowing stone or star, it's talking about many different things. Okay, just like in real life, these jets and these missiles, the very front of it will glow red because it has to prepare the way for the rest of the plane to go through. Okay, it has to penetrate the walls, right? All right. Even later in life, they put angels in front of boats. Okay, and theoretically, this is idolatry though. This is not true. The angel would theoretically protect the boat and prepare the way for the rest of the boat to go through. Okay, supernaturally though. Okay, that's why to this day you have hood ornaments on your car. Okay, that hood ornament on your car is basically talking about the same thing. Okay, God uses things you can understand. All right. You can even do it the other way around. These things are going through the air. What about going through the ground? These very expensive drills. I'm talking about drills that go into the middle of the earth, though. They have to have magic stones at the front. Okay, they're diamonds. Because they have to be really, really strong to penetrate through the layers of the rock. Okay? But theoretically, these Kabba stones and stuff are actually drilling you down into the middle of the earth spiritually. Okay, they're fake magic stones. Okay, God uses things you can understand to explain supernatural stuff. Okay, just like these drills have to have a tip that's really strong to penetrate. Okay, Jesus is supposed to be that tip though. But we're going to go back to breaking the sound barrier and stuff and talking about other supernatural stuff. There's logical explanations for this stuff and there's supernatural. God will just use both to try to get you to understand. Okay. But let's go back to these jets breaking the sound barrier example, okay? Because it does a bunch of different things, okay? And it's very useful for you to understand when Jesus comes back or when you when you die, you are going to be penetrating stuff like this, okay? Okay, and it creates a burst of energy because it's actually breaking through a dimensional barrier. It makes a big flash of light. You can barely see it, but you can see it. And the light is like a rainbow effect. There's that rainbow I talked about, and it makes a burst of a cloud. It makes a very loud noise. So all of that is in the Bible. When Jesus says he's coming back and making a loud noise, it's relating to this stuff. Okay, but it's not just talking about the sound barrier, though. And you can see that rainbow effect it makes. Noah's Ark is probably talking about the same thing. Traveling through a window through the dimensions. Okay, and you can even see this magic opening in the dimensions. This stone on the very top of the dimensions is talking about Noah's window. Okay, it's talking about God, though. Okay. All right, you can see that the very top of the temple, that stone will either lead you to heaven to Jesus or it will lead you to hell. Okay. Here, we'll use this other depiction of the dimensions. This is the dimensions. It's an ark, because ark just means box. And does it have a window in the middle of it? Yes. Do you see what I'm saying? Is that what God's been talking about? Yes. But you can see that rainbow effect. When you break through the dimensions, it creates a burst of light, and it creates a burst of a rainbow effect, and it creates a clouds. So when Jesus says he's coming in through the clouds, and there's going to be a burst of light, and there's going to be a rainbow, okay, it's talking about science and technology. Okay, God uses current information layered with old information. So when it says that Jesus is coming in the clouds and you're going to meet him in the clouds, that means you're going through the dimensions, because literally when you burst through the sound barrier and dimensional walls, it makes a cloud effect and it makes a rainbow and a burst of light. See, the Bible isn't just talking about a bunch of nonsense. It's talking about real things you can understand. And we're going to go ahead and read the Bible passages because they're really important. This is in Matthew, and some of the stuff is in the book of Revelation too. Okay, Matthew 24. Wherever, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers. Believe it not. These are false secret chambers, okay? Jesus is not in these secret chambers. He's not in that one. He's not in this one. He's not in that one. Okay, these are talking about those inner sanctums, those boxes, okay? All right? These are false arcs, okay? But they still travel, though, okay? For the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. So it's talking about these bursts of light, just like you can see in this. You can see this effect. Really, and when these jets penetrate the sound barrier, you can actually see the bursts of light, the lightning. Okay, and they shall see the coming of man in the clouds of heaven. See, it's talking about this cloud effect when you pass through the dimensionals. And it's not just talking about, listen to me. So it's talking about passing through the dimensions. I get it. Okay, when you die, you're going to pass through there. But it's not just talking about the sound barrier. It's talking about things you can't even understand, right? But you can see this effect just through the sound barrier version. Okay? But the thing is all of it's true. When you die, you will still pass those dimensions, but you're going to be going to hell, though. Okay? These arcs, these Noah's Ark, false Noah's Arks, are still going to make you go into hell, okay? All of it's true. You're still going to see a burst of clouds, but it's going to be smoke, because you're going to be on fire, okay? You know what I'm saying? It's talking about it's connecting these secret chambers of Noah's Ark, but these are false arcs. These things are still going to... all of it's true. These arcs are going to take you somewhere, but they're not taking you to heaven, okay? Especially if that thing in your temple isn't Jesus. But God uses things you can understand. He'll use supernatural stuff. Okay? He'll use science and technology is my point. Alright? You can even use Noah's Ark in that window to explain UFOs. I know people always do that. Okay? That magic window, that magic opening's at the bottom, though. Go ahead and jump on that alien train, man. You're gonna go to hell. Okay? God's gonna take you right to hell if you believe in aliens over God and Jesus, okay? You can believe Allah, aliens, Mormon, God, whoever that guy is. Jared, okay? Go ahead and follow false prophets right to hell, man, okay? Don't do it, okay? These people are going to be very, very surprised where their God and their magic stones are leading them, okay? And we'll use something else. This is a very supernatural version, okay? This is an extremely supernatural version. So the Philadelphia experiment. The Philadelphia experiment is Noah's Ark stuff, for real. If you pay attention to the testimonies of this Philadelphia experiment, there's an argument if they were trying to make the ship invisible, but they accidentally teleported the ship across the earth. Just like this says in the Bible when Satan says he goes to and fro from the earth. It's talking about illegal teleporting, illegal traveling. Okay, not God's permission. And then what happens? A big mess. Okay, and get this. So if you listen to the testimonies, supposedly Nicholas Tesla had to build something on top of that ship to make the ship do that. He built a magic something and it was put right on top of the ship. Coincidence? No. And I know this is conspiracy theory stuff, but the evidence of the Philadelphia experiment is a lot. It's a lot of evidence. There's too many testimonies. And even if you listen to the people who were just watching the boat from outside the boat, they said there was a flash of light and the ship was gone. Okay? They were traveling through the abyss. And it's not just talking about traveling through the water. It's talking about traveling through the dimensions of time and space. Okay? So when it says Noah was traveling through the water, God is actually explaining all this stuff too. It's not just talking about little water. It's talking about the abyss, the spirit world. Okay? The dimensions. Alright? But that is some serious Noah's Ark stuff right there. And I'm saying Noah's Ark could have been a supernatural event. It may not have been just a regular boat. Okay, that just depends. But that was with God's permission, though. Okay, this is not with God's permission. And then what happened? If you listen to the testimony, some really bad stuff happened on that boat. Okay, people were missing. People were dead. People were molded inside the boat, the metal of the boat. Okay, it was terrible, awful. That's what happens when you mess with God's stuff. In this video, I talked about how that airplane possibly traveled to another time or dimension. Okay, and you can actually see a video of it. But in that video, you can see that the airplane had a rainbow and a blast of light in the front of the airplane. Okay, so this is a very interesting picture, and I know some people have even said, well, this airplane was just breaking the sound barrier. That's why this passenger plane have this effect. But the problem is, these commercial airlines cannot nearly go as fast as these jets. So this is proof that this airplane is actually traveling somewhere, because you can see that burst of light in the front of the vessel. Okay, you can see that light up, and you can see that rainbow effect around the tip of it. Okay, this airplane, something supernatural is happening here. You can use that. Okay. And it's probably not a good thing though, or it could just be evidence of these people are going into their afterlife. Okay, they're taking their ark into the afterlife. All right, and I already talked about that in this video. You can see that cloud effect and that burst of light in the very front of the vessel. Okay, there's that magic stone, that open window to taking these people somewhere else. It's so crazy because you can actually see those magic stones surrounding the ship, and it's getting ready for it to be taken somewhere else. Okay, and I don't know if this is the government doing it, if it was God doing it, okay, or the devil. I don't know, because the devil can do something very similar to it's evil. He can make it evil, right? It's very interesting because God uses this version of an angel to explain all of that stuff. Okay, he uses this version of an angel to explain all this stuff. The magic stone, because you have to remember, I'm going to say this again. The eyes mean stones, okay? In the ancient world, eyes meant stars and stones and gems, okay? And this thing is called an ophanim, which means opening anyway, okay? But this thing is also called a merkaba. It means it's like a spaceship. It travels, okay? It's a vessel that travels through the dimensions, okay? God uses this version of an angel to explain a lot of this stuff. You can even actually see it, okay? And no, it's not a coincidence, all right? Anyway, so let's go back to our regular version. I did some crazy examples. I did some supernatural examples of Noah's window. This is a little bit more logical, but you can still use it personally. Okay, so that window's brought up one last time, okay? Noah opened that magic window, and he sent the two birds out. He sent out Satan first, right? Which is exactly what happened in the Garden of Eden. Okay, God made an opening. He sent Satan out first, and then he sent the dove, and then he sent Adam and Eve. Okay, all right. So that Satan's been going to and fro from the earth for a long time before you even got here. Okay, he has been working hard to make sure you do not accept Christ and you go to hell. He makes real sure you never find God. Okay, he's been working. He's been here a long time before you were even born, okay? Making sure you personally end up in hell, okay? So, but my point is, it's the same window though. Something good came out of the window and something bad came out of the same window. And I'm going to use that, okay? You have a magical window in your house right now. You might even have a couple of them. This is a magic window, okay? It's a TV in your computer. It might not seem magical, but it's actually pretty magical. And just like in the ancient texts, this window can make you see into other worlds. You can see into other time frames. You can go to study something from across the earth. You can use the internet to travel, okay? Is it bad? That depends on how you use it, okay? Are you going to use your computer and your TV to send the devil out to yourself and to everyone else? Or are you going to use this magic window for good? For God, okay? That's why I'm trying to do a more positive version to science and technology, because you can still use machines, okay? That's why God says he has a good version of this thing. This is a machine. This angel, in my opinion, represents a machine for one of the things he's talking about anyway. But not all machines are bad. I'm obviously on my computer right now. I'm using a machine to communicate with you. It all depends on how you use it. Are you going to use the machines for the devil? Are you going to send the devil out on your magic window? Or are you going to send God out on your magic window? Okay? It depends on who's operating it, right? It depends who's steering the machine, who's driving the machine. Alright? I'm not stupid. I know 90% of the time, the internet and TV is used for evil. Okay? But you can still use some of it for good stuff, too. Okay, you can still use your computer for good. You can still learn things. You can travel through other lands. You can look into other time frames. You can study things for God. You can study the Bible. You can communicate with other people who don't know about the Bible. Is it a good tool that God can use? Of course. Does it travel through the realms? Yeah, it goes to the internet. It might be like normal to us, but technically it sounds pretty magical to me. Okay, that's why God says he has a good version of this thing. Okay, you can even use a machine. This is a merkaba. It travels through the realms. I just did a very supernatural version of that thing. This thing could just be talking about your car. Okay, can you use your car to go do missionary work? Can you actually get on an airplane and go fly to another country and help some people out and tell them about God? Of course. Okay, it depends on how you use it. Okay, it depends on how you use your machines and your Merkabas and your spaceships. Okay, and your regular cars. Okay, it depends on how you use it. Not all technology is bad. Not all machines are used to bring up the demons from hell. Okay, all right. It depends on who's driving the machine. It depends on you. And if if you and God aren't working together, it's just going to turn into witchcraft and more evil. All right. Anyway, so I think I'll end the video there. It got kind of long. There's one more thing I wanted to mention. Something that's very interesting is that a lot of these magic stones on these temples, most of them are missing. Okay, the pyramid capstones are missing. In the Mayan empires, at the very top of the temple, the arcs on top of the temple are missing. All right, they're gone. Technically, Noah's Ark is missing. No one knows for sure where it is. There's some theories, but Noah's Ark is technically missing. The Ark of the Covenant is missing. There's a whole bunch of missing arks. God probably did that on purpose. Okay, these things would have probably just been turned into really crazy bad idols anyway. Okay, they are missing, but that's because when you look for them, hopefully you find Jesus. Okay, Jesus is the missing capstone. He's the missing ark. Okay, God did that all on purpose. All right. So please think about this stuff, guys, and thank you.